Welcome back to another English lesson. If this is your first time here, my name is Brent. I have been an English teacher in the United States for over 20 years. Yes, I am old. And if you like improving your English while watching the news, this is the perfect place for you. In today's English lesson, together, we are going to watch a news clip about how President Trump keeps telling the world peace is close with Iran, and Iran keeps saying, no, that is fake news. President Trump is lying. It's a little windy out here. It's a little hard to teach English. So I am going to go inside where I will have slides for you. They will have the definitions of these very tricky words. We will use them in sentences. I will even have a picture to help you understand these difficult terms. Terms you might hear native English speakers say in conversation. Terms you might see on the IELTS or TOEFL exam. If that sounds good to you, please go ahead, subscribe, hit that like button so other English learners can find the channel, and I will see you in just a minute.
The U.S. and Iran are at a critical crossroads tonight. President Trump has announced a 5-day pause on planned strikes against Tehran, claiming a peace deal could be within reach. While Trump insists Iran is ready to negotiate, Tehran is firing back, calling reports of talks fake news designed to manipulate oil prices.
Okay, I'm back inside. It's warmer in here, but I am suffering through a bit of a sore throat. So if you can tell my voice isn't as strong as it usually is, it's because I'm a little sick. But hey, there is plenty of news in the world and you need to improve your English. I can't stop teaching. Let's talk about the first word I thought might give you trouble in the newscast, and that is critical. Critical, the official definition, very important, or a time of danger. And we have talked about this before. Sometimes you will hear people are in critical condition in a hospital, which kind of means they are close to death or they need a lot of medical attention. Let's get the sentence that uses critical. The peace talks are at a critical stage right now. Next, they used crossroads. Crossroads. You will hear this quite often in the news. Two countries could be at a crossroads. What does it mean? A time when you must make a big decision. The country is at a crossroads about its new climate rules. Stop. Look at this word, landslide. Do you think it means rocks falling down from a mountain? In the news, that is a big no. It means winning an election by a large amount. If you want to read the New York Times or watch CNN or Fox News, you need to know news English, or like I like to call it, headline-ese, like Chinese or Taiwanese. It's a foreign language. It's not like English from a textbook. And the best place to start is my free guide. It's called The 50 Words You Need to Know Before You Read the News. It teaches you the most important words for politics, crimes, elections, and so much more. It's totally free. There is a QR code right up there, or there is a link in the description. Now, back to the English lesson. Pause. Do you know what that means in English? I know we have talked about it before. Be careful. Cats and dogs, they can have paws, spelled differently, sounds the exact same way, but it's basically like their feet. You can pause this English lesson if you have something important that you need to do. Let's talk about what it means. A short stop. Here is the sentence. The leader asked for a 24-hour pause in fighting. Next, we have claiming. This is a good verb to know. You might see it on the IELTS or the TOEFL exam. It means saying something is true even without proof. So President Trump is claiming that Iran wants peace. He has even said he has sent along a peace proposal. At least that's what he's claiming. Iran says, nope, He's lying. Let's get a sentence that uses claiming. The rebel group is claiming they did the attack. So maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but we don't have enough proof to say they did it without a doubt. Next, we have within reach. What if something is within reach? I hope you passing the IELTS or TOEFL exam is within reach. Let's talk about what that means. Almost finish or possible to get. Here's a sentence that uses within reach. After months of talking, a new trade deal is finally within reach. So, like, it's going to happen or it's pretty close to happening. Next, we have firing back. Now, you might know fire. It's usually hot, right? Some people sit around a campfire, but here it's used in an English phrasal verb, firing back. It means answering quickly when criticized. So if somebody says bad things about you and you fire back, it means you are defending yourself. Let's get a sentence that uses firing back. The politician is firing back at the bad news. Next, we have fake news. I have used that a couple times in this lesson already. I think President Trump invented this term a few years ago, like back when he was president for the first time. I could be wrong, but I don't remember hearing fake news before he was president. Fake news, stories that are not true but look real. Here's a sentence that uses fake news. People must watch out for fake news on social media. Manipulate. Manipulate. It is a good verb to know, and it means to control someone in a tricky or bad way. I don't know. Some people are saying Israel or Benjamin Netanyahu manipulated Trump, kind of making him attack Iran. What do you think? Did that happen? Please let me know in the comments. Here's a sentence that uses manipulate. The company tried to manipulate the price of their products.
The Speaker of Iranian's parliament issued a chilling ultimatum today stating the world is either with Gaza and against this colonial terror regime, or it stands with the Epstein class and child torturers. There's no middle ground. As Turkey and Egypt scramble to mediate and avert a global energy catastrophe, Israeli strikes continue to hit targets in Lebanon and Tehran. In the heart of the conflict is control of oil and energy through the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump is threatening to obliterate Iran's power grid if Iran does not ease its grip on the vital energy shipping route.
An ultimatum. It is a noun. Hopefully your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, husband never gives you an ultimatum like you do this or this is going to happen. I don't think that is too healthy. What is an ultimatum? It is a final warning. Do this or else. Let's get a sentence. The president gave an ultimatum. Leave the area or face war. Your boyfriend, girlfriend may say, hey, buy me this ring. Buy me this expensive jewelry or I am going to break up with you. That is definitely not a healthy relationship. Next, we have colonial. Colonial. It comes from colony. Let's get the definition. A strong country controlling a weaker one. For example, the United States, where I live, at one time, we were a colony of England. Like they controlled the United States. It wasn't called the United States back then, probably the 13 colonies, but that is an example of what a colony is. For example, another one, Angola used to be a colony of Portugal. Let's get a sentence that uses colonial, the adjective form. The two countries are still talking about their colonial history. This isn't easy to say. Torturers. Torturers. I think that R is hard to say. Should I say it one more time? Torturers. These are people. And guess what? They torture, but let's get the official definition. people who hurt others to get information. The human rights group wants the police to arrest the torturers. Torturers. Middle ground. Middle ground. That is a point where two fighting sides agree. Hopefully, the United States and Iran can find middle ground and stop this war. Let's get a sentence that uses middle ground. The two leaders are trying to find middle ground on the new law. Scrambled. Scrambled. Here it is a verb. In just a minute, we are going to talk about the adjective form, like scrambled eggs, but let's talk about it the way they use it in the newscast. Scrambled, to move very fast because of an emergency. Workers scrambled to fix the internet after the attack. But take a look at the two terms side by side, pronounced the same, spelled the same. On the left, you can see a picture or an emoji of an egg, scrambled eggs. I can put up a picture of what scrambled eggs look like. But in the news, that's how we just talked about it. People scrambled, moving with extreme speed during an emergency. Or hey, in the morning before work, if you lose your phone, you may be scrambling around the house to find it. There I used it as an English phrasal verb. Next we have avert. Avert. That means to stop something bad from happening. Too bad war could not have been averted between the United States and Iran. Let's use it in a sentence. The city worked fast to avert the flood. So many of our words in English come from French. I think this is another one. Catastrophe. Catastrophe, a terrible event with a lot of damage. The big hurricane was a catastrophe for the town. And guess what? There is a catastrophe going on right now with gas prices. Maybe you have seen it in your country. Gas is getting really, really expensive. The heart, and we will talk about two different ways we use heart in English, but this is the way they used it in the newscast, like the heart of something, maybe like the most important part or the middle part. Let's get the official definition. The center or most important part of a problem. Money is at the heart of the government's problems. And here again, side by side, we have the daily life one, the heart. It's inside your body. It is the organ that beats in your chest. It might go boom, 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 boom. And of course, in the news, the heart of the issue, the center or most important part of the problem. Oh boy, we have a lot of different ways we use straight in English, a couple different ways we spell them, but in the newscast, they used it like this. A narrow strip of water connecting two seas. And they talk about the Strait of Hormuz in the newscast. We've talked about that in a previous English lesson. I will leave a link to that one at the end of this English lesson. Let's get a sentence that uses strait. Ships are waiting to pass through the strait safely. Next, we have a good verb to know. Maybe you will see it on the IELTS or TOEFL exam. Obliterate. What does obliterate mean? To destroy something completely. And you might hear this in sports also. Maybe one team wins really big against another team. You can say, oh my gosh, did you see the score? That team obliterated the other team. They won in a really big way. Here we have a different sentence. The bomb was strong enough to obliterate the building. They talked about the power grid in the newscast. President Trump threatened to bomb power plants and obliterate the power grid of Iran. Guess what? He can't do that. That would be a war crime. That would affect civilians, not just the military. Luckily, he said he would not do that after he threatened to do it. Power grid, the official definition, the system that brings electricity to the city. Here is a sentence. The winter storm broke the city's power grid. That is it. You are good. You made it to the end of this English lesson. Right down there is another English lesson about that war between Iran and the United States. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.